Hi, I'm Lisa. I am an artist. I have my own business. I do some interior design, mostly painting, and some murals, and I'm an artist, like I said. But in September, I am going back to university for a science degree. I applied in December and I didn't know if I get accepted, but I applied to two different places. So I first found out that I got accepted to my second place, and I didn't hear back from the first place. The second place was McEwen, and I accepted that offer, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to McEwen. Like, at least I got accepted. I haven't been in school for like 20, 25 years. So awesome, right? Was making plans to do that, making plans to go there, and picking my courses, doing little meetings, this kind of thing, just getting prepared and set up. And then, probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago, it was actually just like days before I was set to like pick my classes, like class registration opened at McEwen. I got an email that I got accepted to the U of A. And I was like, holy crap, that's where I wanted to go. So at first I was super nervous because I was like, oh my gosh, it's so much bigger. I don't know, is this too much for me? I've been out of school for so long. Am I going to be okay? I had all the fears. I can say that. I had all the fears. I was like, I don't know if this is right for me. Maybe I should start small, start in a smaller arena, just get my feet wet for, school again. Like I said, it's been like 20, 25 years. Yeah, I think the last time I was in school, like I graduated in 2001. The last time I was in school, it was like 2004 is when I graduated from interior design. And now it's like 2026. So, well, when I got accepted was December of 2025. And then when I got, anyway, so it's like, let's say 20 years. So it's like, am I going to be able to do this? This absolutely freaks me out. And keep in mind, I wanted to just start at McEwen. I was only planning on starting at McEwen just for like a year or two. The courses that I wanted to take weren't there anyway, so I'd have to transfer to the U of A anyways. So I thought to myself, okay, if I was planning on going to the U of A anyways, is it possible that I could just start there? Is it possible? So the day after I got my acceptance, I went to the U of A the next day, feeling all the feelings, all the scary feelings. And I was like, I need to be on campus. I need to just feel how this feels and just see what it's like, right? I get there and I was a little bit nervous, but I walk through that campus because when I first went to apply, I'd gone to campus and I was like, that was when I decided, I was like, U of A or nothing. I don't want anything else. I want to go to the U of A. But then, like I said, I didn't get accepted right away. I got accepted to McEwen. And so I had talked myself into, McEwen being, okay, well, you know what? I got accepted to this. I'll just go here. When I went to the U of A that day after getting my acceptance letter, I think one of my fears about the U of A is because it's so big in comparison, I thought it was going to be chaotic. I thought it was going to be disorganized. I thought I was going to be like lost and like, do I go left? Do I go like what's going on? And like, I go to the registrar's office and they're like, we can't find you because there's like 40,000 students here. Like, we don't, you know what I mean? Like, I thought it was just going to not run well. I went to student services for Bachelor of Science and it was so calm. It was amazing. Then I went to the registrar's office. So efficient, so calm, so organized. I was like, this is cool. So then I decided to sort of like walk through the science building, walk through like the main, I can't remember what the name of it, but walk through the main science building, just just like feel into it, right? So I walked through like this chemistry hallway where there's like these like chemistry things all over, and I'm just like, this is amazing, right? That's what I'm thinking, like, this is amazing. Then I walk into like the main building, and it has like all these different levels, and it has glass around it and different levels so you can oversee this to that. And hanging from the ceiling is this gigantic sculpture. And I believe it's like a dinosaur or something. I can't really remember. I took photos, of course, but it's this big sculpture. I was like, ooh, that's so cool. Then from upstairs, I see like a lecture hall downstairs, right? And the doors were kind of ajar. I was like, you know what? Let me just take a little look-sees, right? So I go down to the lecture hall, and I stand at the back of the lecture hall. Like, you just kind of like peek my head in and just maybe take a little step in. You know what I mean? Like, it's open. It's not like I'm, going somewhere that I'm not allowed to. Take a little step in. There was like this big lecture hall with all these students in like seats that were sort of like stepped down, and then the instructors at the front with this big whiteboard. And I think it was like a physics lesson. Um, and my heart just stopped. I was like, this is where I'm meant to be. I absolutely love this. This is me. This is where I'm meant to be. This is it for me. So after I went there, that's when I went to the registrar's office, and I let them know, like, I got this, I've already accepted at MacEwan. Now I got this acceptance. I wasn't expecting it from the U of A, very excited. And he said, I see that you've been a student here before. I was like, yeah, I took 1 year here, like 2 years after high school. He says, because you're a student, you don't have to pay a tuition deposit. So he said, I would suggest you just accept it since you don't have to pay a deposit, even if you're undecided. And I was like, oh, okay. So I accepted it. I didn't have to pay the tuition deposit. So now I've secured my spot there. I still have the spot at MacEwan. What I genuinely believe in life, for myself personally, is that when there's fear for me, when there's something that scares me, when there's something that like tightens my chest, that makes me feel like, oh my gosh, right? For me, that is where I know I need to be. That is where I need to go towards. MacEwan felt comfortable to me. It felt like, yeah, I can do this. This is comfortable. This is good. I walked through the campus. I got to know it. I got to, because like I said, it was my second choice. I didn't really want to go there, but because I got accepted there, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make the most of this opportunity. I walked through, I visited, I learned to enjoy it. I found some great places to hang out. This was like 3 months before I got the acceptance to the U of A. So I was like, okay, you know what? MacEwan's my place. I'll go here. I'm going to enjoy it. This is going to be good. I even found some places that I really loved. I was like, this is going to be good. It's all one building. I can walk through. The workout area looks awesome, right? Like there's some, there's a Starbucks, this is great. But it didn't like scare me, which is fine. I felt comfortable there. I felt like I know 100% that I can succeed here. Whether it's for a year, whether it's for 2 years, whatever it is, I know I can succeed here. But with the U of A, this is a different thing. With the U of A, I kind of had some hesitation because, you hear some things. They're like, the same courses at MacEwan versus the U of A is harder because they're trying to weed people out. And I was like, okay, well, that scares me a little bit. Also, people say things like it's harder to have access to your instructors at the U of A because it's like when I was registering for MacEwan classes, it was like for example, an introductory biology class was like 80 students. At the U of A, actually now I can't even remember how much it was like, but it was something like 260 or something. Like it was just like significantly more. I was like, okay, so that makes sense that it's a little bit more challenging to have access to your instructors there. And there's like some other things, right? Like the way that they do testing at the U of A is apparently different. But when I had spoken to somebody, they're like, it actually has more to do with the instructor than like the school itself. The instructor can choose to test how they want. So it's, it kind of scared me to go into the U of A. But like I said, I was going to end up there anyways. The courses that I want to take are there anyways. Specifically in the neuroscience department, they don't have neuroscience at MacEwan. They said in a couple of years, they're planning on kind of opening up a program for that kind of. But the U of A is where I wanted to be anyways. That's where it is. That's where the research is that I want to do. They have like, so, I can't even remember how much funding they have for research at the U of A. Like, so my son and I took him for a campus tour of the U of A. Like after I accepted, I was like, you know what, I should book a campus tour. We went for the campus tour. It just cinched it for me. It was just, this 100% is my academic home for the next 4, maybe 5 years. Like, this is it. I don't care if it scares me. I don't care if it's harder. I don't care if any of that. I just feel within myself that this is where I'm meant to be. Why not start where I'm meant to be? And I trust myself to rise to the occasion. I've always been good at school. I've always been good at university education, like even high school. I got very good grades in everything. I've always been able to do what needs to be done when it comes to school. I'm not worried about that. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to it. So today is April 29th, and I went on to Bear Tracks, and I'm allowed to register for classes on May 11th at 7:30 a.m. Oh my gosh! Okay, 7:30 a.m. I can register for my classes. So let me just tell you the classes that I'm thinking about taking. I'm only taking 3 courses per term just to kind of keep my stress levels down. I mean, I do have, like a husband and children and a home. I have other things going on in my life, right? Like I can't commit to I'm not like a 19-year-old going back and I can take like 5 courses. Plus the classes I'm taking need labs, and so that makes it even more. So first term, Biology 107, Chemistry 101, and I believe I'm taking Psychology 104 first term. Second term is Biology 108, Physics 124, and Math 134. And then in the spring, I want to take statistics. I can't remember whether I'm doing statistics in the spring or summer. So I want to do statistics 151, and then I want to do English. No, I think I'm going to do English in my second year, actually do English in school, and do statistics in the spring, but do like in person. Anyways, this is like the tentative schedule that I'm thinking of. Keep in mind, I'm going to have labs. So for the science, for the biology, for the physics, for the chem, I'll have labs. For the stats, I believe there's a lab for stats as well. I'm really looking forward to it. I told my oldest son when I was going back to university, I told him, he's like, I cannot believe you'd want to do that. And I was like, I know. And I'm so excited about it. So follow the excitement, follow the interest. I've wanted to do this for like 20 years, go back to university, especially at the U of A. Now I have the opportunity to do it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's not for everybody. Most people I tell, they think it's insane or crazy or like, I have no idea why you'd want to do that, but I do. So anyways, I'll talk about it in another video, like what my plan is, coming from like an art and design kind of background, and what the reasons are for going into science, what I hope to do with it. But for now, that's just kind of like the background about me getting in, and I am looking forward to it. So yay. Oh, and today I have a meeting there. There's a meeting I set up with some advisors there. So I have a meeting there today at 1:30 in person. I love to do meetings in person. So I have an in-person meeting there today at 1:30. I am looking forward to it. And yeah, that's it for now.